On the day I married Elena Vance, her ex-boyfriend drove his car straight into our wedding limousine. Elena left me critically injured in the wreckage to comfort her ex, who was merely shaken up, and accompanied him to the hospital. As she turned her back on me, the transmigrator occupying my body was judged by the system to have failed his conquest mission and was summarily deleted. From that moment on, no one would ever love her like that again. When I woke up, I had lost every memory of loving Elena Vance. The first thing I did was seek accountability for the accident. I called 911. The day after I woke up in the hospital, I pieced together the reason for my injuries from my family and friends. A week ago, it was supposed to be my wedding day. En route to the hotel, Elena's ex-boyfriend suddenly appeared and rammed his vehicle into ours. After the crash, Elena ignored my broken body and chose to escort her ex, who was suffering from shock, to the emergency room. It has been a week since then. I went through resuscitation, a coma, and finally woke up yesterday. In all this time, Elena hasn't shown up once. Rumor has it her ex is in the same hospital, and she's been by his side the whole time. It's a blessing I lost all memory of knowing Elena after I woke up. Otherwise, being so blatantly disregarded by my own wife would probably be devastating. But I didn't feel a thing. Aside from the pain in my fractured leg and my stitched-up head slowing down my eating, I was joking around, enjoying the hospital food, completely lacking the self-awareness of someone who had nearly died. Even knowing my wife was still comforting her ex, I felt no emotional discomfort. Her name meant nothing to me. She was a stranger. My family and friends didn't quite believe I had amnesia. They thought I was faking it to save face. It was admittedly strange. My memory stopped right before I met Elena. I remember going to a party, and then blank. Everything that happened after meeting her was gone. When my best friend, Marcus Cole, filled me in on my love story with Elena, my first reaction was to point at my own face, shock undisguised. Am I some kind of masochist? Do I have a brain tumor that makes me like trash? I asked incredulously. This Elena woman. How could I possibly choose such an obvious narcissist as my wife? Are you joking? Yes, I thought Marcus was pranking me. I know myself. I would absolutely never fall for a woman with no boundaries who is still entangled with her ex. The strange thing was, everyone who visited, including my parents, said I was hopelessly obsessed with Elena, that I had done incredible, degrading things for her. The me in their stories felt like a stranger. It was as if someone else had hijacked my body and lived my life for the last 7 years. Oh no, that wasn't love. That was one-sided torture. Jesus, I'm going to have an aneurysm. Elena is such a moron. Marcus shouted, storming into the room. Is she blind or just stupid? Can't she see that manipulative little prick is faking it? He didn't even break a nail, but he's acting like he's on death's door. Marcus was furious. He's such a fake. What kind of garbage bag was he in a past life? Trash man, trash woman. It's disgusting. He was raging because he had just seen Elena and her ex, Caleb Reed, downstairs. Elena was pushing Caleb in a wheelchair to get some sun. Caleb, who hadn't suffered a scratch in the accident, was being tended to hand and foot by Elena, while I, who had nearly died, was ignored. I watched Marcus cursing, stomping, and punching the air. It was funny, but knowing he was angry on my behalf made me suppress my smile. All right, don't lower yourself to their level. I ordered your favorite iced Americano. Drink up and cool down. He huffed, stabbed the straw into the cup violently, then looked up at me. Wait, why aren't you mad? I blinked, feigning innocence. What's there to be mad about? You told me yourself. Elena has been entangled with Caleb for years. Abandoning me, for him, isn't exactly a new occurrence. If it happened before, I must have been angry then. If it's still happening, my anger obviously never worked. Besides, I don't remember her. I don't even know what she looks like. To me, she's an insignificant stranger. Would you waste energy being mad at a stranger? Marcus went silent, his eyes reddening slightly. He patted my shoulder, his tone fierce, but his touch gentle. You used to be such an idiot. A complete moron with zero survival instincts when it came to love. I didn't mind his insults. I could feel his concern. I really hope you never remember her. This is better. The you right now is the Julian Thorne I used to know. Marcus told me I used to love Elena to the point of losing myself, stripping away my dignity. Humble and pathetic. During that relationship, I had broken down countless times, always because of her, or rather, because of her bottomless bias toward Caleb. Once at my birthday party, Elena left me to go to a bar where Caleb was drinking himself into a stupor. When I tried to stop her, she shoved me. I fell, hit my temple on the corner of a table, and passed out. I was hospitalized for days. She never visited once. She stayed with Caleb, making him soup and rubbing his hands to warm him up because his stomach hurt from the alcohol. When I called her, begging her to visit, she said, "It's just a minor injury. Stop being so dramatic. Caleb hurt his stomach drinking. It's much more serious. I have to stay and take care of him." She once gave my design portfolio, intended for a competition, to Caleb. Caleb entered with my work and won first place. When I recognized my work, he gaslit me, publicly accusing me of plagiarism and rallying his fans to cyberbully me. Elena, who knew the truth, stood by Caleb, helping him testify that I was the thief. When I was being ripped apart online, boycotted by the industry, and spiraling into depression, Elena was at Caleb's victory party, helping him organize an exhibition. I asked her why. She said, "Stop being so petty. You've won plenty of awards. Why do you care about this one? Caleb needs this opportunity more than you." I gave him the designs. Stop harassing him. Later, she threatened to break up with me unless I became Caleb's ghostwriter. A month before our wedding, she gave the custom tuxedo I designed for myself to Caleb. She went abroad with him, took wedding photos with him, and even held a private ceremony in a chapel just for the two of them. I asked her where that left me. She said, "Why do you make a scene over every little thing? I already agreed to marry you. What more do you want?" Caleb just wanted to try on the suit and feel what it's like to get married. It was just for fun. Are you seriously jealous of that? "Julian, I told you I don't like petty men. Calm down before you talk to me." Then she went back to playing with Caleb. She even missed our original wedding date because of him forcing us to postpone. Marcus rambled on, crying and cursing me for being a simp, cursing Elena for being toxic, cursing Caleb for being a manipulative snake. But I remained unmoved, as if the pathetic man in his stories wasn't me. It was strange. I couldn't empathize with my past self at all. It really felt like listening to a stranger's tragedy. That odd sensation returned. Perhaps for 7 years, a stranger's soul really had hijacked my body. And because he died in that crash, I returned. The more I thought about it, the more sense it made. I looked it up on my phone. Does amnesia change personality? The answer was no. Amnesia doesn't mean a lobotomy. Core habits and logic remain. 7 years ago, I became someone else for Elena. 7 years later, I reverted to my pre-Elena self. It was too weird, but I couldn't solve that mystery yet. I had more pressing matters. I've been asleep for a long time, but now I had the energy to seek justice. The perpetrator who nearly killed me had to pay. Before Marcus arrived, I was watching the surveillance and dashcam footage my sister, Victoria, had copied for me. The video was clear. Our limo was driving normally. Caleb's car was parked on the shoulder. As we approached, he suddenly accelerated, swerving directly into the passenger side where I was sitting. That was why my injuries were so severe. In the footage, immediately after the impact, I could hear myself calling her name. "Elena, it hurts." Elena ignored me. The moment the crash happened, she recognized Caleb's car. She threw her door open and sprinted out, panic on her face as she tried to open Caleb's door. The surveillance video wasn't high definition, but the desperation with which she hugged him showed just how worried she was. Just as everyone said, she never even glanced back at our car. As she helped a trembling, but physically unharmed, Caleb walk away, my sister Victoria and several bystanders were rushing toward my vehicle. My legs were pinned by the crushed door, steel had pierced my thigh, and I was covered in glass, compressed against the seat by the airbags. If I hadn't been extracted in time, I would have bled out or suffocated. Victoria's fingernails were broken, her hands bloody as she clawed at the door. She heard me, on the verge of unconsciousness, still whispering Elena's name. My sister, usually proud and cold, a woman who never begged anyone, swallowed her pride and pleaded with Elena. "Julian is hurt. He's losing a lot of blood. He's calling for you. Can you just stay with him? Elena, look at Julian. He needs you." But Elena never turned her head. "He won't die from a little scratch. Tell him to suck it up. You guys are here, aren't you?" Caleb is in shock. "I have to get him to the hospital." The video ended with my father supporting my mother, who was sobbing too hard to stand, as they walked toward the wreckage. I faintly heard my own voice saying, "I'm sorry." The culprit behind all this was Caleb Reed. And of course, Elena Vance. They were going to pay. I looked up. So, no one called the cops? No one had, because everyone assumed that given my obsession with Elena, I wouldn't want to press charges. Marcus's eyes lit up. "Brother, you're making a lot of sense. This is a traffic accident. Attempted vehicular manslaughter, even. We absolutely should call the cops." I smiled and dialed 911. Caleb had just been taken away by officers when Elena, who hadn't appeared for a week, finally stormed into my hospital room. She shoved the door so hard it bounced off the wall, forcing her to open it a second time. Before I even saw her face, I heard her furious voice. "Julian Thorne, What the hell is wrong with you? Who gave you permission to call the police? Drop the charges immediately. Marcus was out getting pastries. Mom was talking to the doctor, and Dad and Victoria had gone back to the office. I was alone. I looked at the intruder, a completely unfamiliar face. But given the attitude, I knew who she was. My mouth moved faster than my brain. Who are you? This is a hospital. Screaming like a banshee. Have you no manners? She froze, then frowned, her lip curling in disdain. Julian, are you playing games again? Is pretending to have amnesia fun for you? I had wondered if she possessed some magical charm that made men enslaved to her. Now that I saw her, I confirmed my hypothesis. The real Julian Thorne would never like this person. Ever. From her hair to her heels, her voice to her expression, nothing about her was appealing. Her arrogant attitude, the contempt in her eyes, it was as if I wasn't her equal. She looked at me like I was something dirty, like her acknowledging me was an act of charity I should be grateful for. My first instinct, she is repulsive. Even missing 7 years of memory, the 18 years I did remember were of an optimistic, morally upright young man with no weird fetishes or masochistic tendencies. Like her, I must have been possessed. I used to smile a lot. Even in pain, seeing family made me smile. But seeing Elena, my brows involuntarily knitted together. Disgust, annoyance, rage. She didn't notice, launching into what was likely a habitual lecture. I told you, these boring mind games only make you look pathetic. As soon as she finished, I fired back. You make me look at my vomit bag with longing. Can you get out? Looking at you makes me nauseous. Her face turned an ugly shade of gray. According to Marcus, I used to grovel at her feet. She wasn't used to this tone. She clenched her fists, suppressing rage. Stop being unreasonable. The accident was a mistake. Caleb didn't mean to do it. He was terrified. He has nightmares every night. You had him arrested. Did you stop to think how he'll cope alone in jail? Julian, I know you're just mad I didn't visit, but Caleb is different. You have family, friends. Caleb only has me. Stop being petty. Being aggressive just makes you look mean and vindictive. It makes me hate you more. There it was. My existence only mattered if it served her narrative. Caleb destroys my car, nearly kills me. And my seeking legal recourse is mean and vindictive? I'm not dropping the charges. I'm pursuing this to the fullest extent of the law. If you're so worried about him and holding, go join him. Since he only has you, right? Julian, her voice carried a warning. I grimaced. Don't say my name. It sounds dirty coming from you. It was a physiological reaction. Memories fade, but instincts don't lie. My instinct screamed that I loathed this woman. She stopped breathing for a second, then marched to the bed, glaring at me. I will say this one more time. Immediately. I took a deep breath and shouted over her barking. I don't want to say this a second time either. Get the hell out. She raised her hand as if to slap me. Just then, Mom returned. What are you doing? Elena's hand froze, then dropped. Mom rushed over, blocking me, glaring at Elena. It's obvious, isn't it? I said. She wanted to hit me. Mom, can we get security to remove her? I don't want to see her. Mom immediately turned on her. Get out. Didn't you hear him? Julian doesn't want you here. Elena's attitude softened slightly in front of the matriarch of the Thorne family. You misunderstood. I wasn't going to hit him. I just wanted to check his forehead for a fever, seeing as he's talking nonsense. I roll my eyes. She really thought we were stupid. My brain is fine. There is no room for negotiation. He almost killed me. She interrupted. I said he didn't mean to. Stop projecting your malice on a good people. I ground my teeth. If my leg wasn't in traction, I would have hopped up and slapped her. Whether it was intentional is for the police to decide, not you. Also, you're Elena, right? We have a marriage certificate. I've already instructed my lawyer to draft the divorce papers. Come sign them tomorrow. She looked at me in disbelief. Julian, do you know what you're saying? Crystal clear. I hope you heard me. She scoffed, her expression turning nasty. Fine. Divorce it is. Don't come crawling back later. I won't take you back. She turned and left without hesitation. I noticed Mom's fist clench. She looked like she wanted to speak, but stopped, her expression sad. I squeezed her hand. Mom, do you think I'm being impulsive? Asking for a divorce. Mom's eyes welled up. She sighed. I'm just worried about you. You don't remember how much you loved her. You gave up so much to be with her. I'm worried that when your memory returns, you'll regret today. Right? I heard the same from Marcus. I loved Elena too much. I couldn't live without her. But was that really the truth? Memories can lie. Real events processed through the mind, mixed with imagination, become memory. People judge my love for Elena based on the story I projected. But what if the memory itself was false? Only the mind doesn't lie. Inner thoughts are the truest feelings. I hated Elena. I was certain. I asked my mom again. You and Dad didn't object to me being with trash like that. Mom started crying. Of course they objected. No one understood why I was with her. I was born with a silver spoon, a scion of a wealthy New York family, loved by parents and a protective sister. I had the best education, wealth, looks, and a good heart. I was a talented designer. As Marcus said, I was the perfect romance novel protagonist, minus the brain damage of being a simp. I didn't feel like a simp. The 7 years I couldn't remember didn't count. Elena came from chaos. Her father was a monster, drinking, gambling, whoring, and violence. He beat her biological mother to death, then married her stepmother. But the cycle continued until he abused the stepmother too, and she finally snapped, stabbing him to death. When I met her, Caleb had just dumped her. She was drunk in the rain. I supposedly passed by in my Rolls Royce, felt pity, saved her, paid her debts, funded her MBA, and helped her start a company. I accompanied her from bankruptcy to becoming new money. Everyone knew I loved her, but no one knew why. I cut off my family and friends for her. I asked for nothing but her love. But she didn't love me. She loved Caleb. Yet she married me. On the wedding day, I hadn't even invited my parents. They tried to sneak in just to see their son in a tuxedo. Mom saw how you were ready to die for her, so now. I just want you safe. Amnesia or not, just be happy. She said it, but I knew she wanted Elena gone. Watching her cry, I felt a pang of guilt. For 7 years, I was a monster. What possessed me to hurt my family for garbage? I hugged my mom. Mom, listen. I suspect the me of the last 7 years wasn't me at all. I am very clear right now. I do not love Elena. I want to divorce her, cut ties, and get my life back. I love you, Dad, Victoria, and my friends. Please believe me. Elena had to be practically kidnapped to the lawyer's office. It had been a month and a half since I proposed divorce. She stalled. Finally, I asked Victoria to have some associates escort her. She was furious. Julian, stop this. If we sign this, there's no going back. Haven't you thrown enough tantrums? I'll visit you in the hospital if that's what you want. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Cut the crap. Get inside. My dad had pulled strings. We could expedite the filing. She wouldn't quit. Julian, is this your idea of love? Trying to scare me with divorce. If I weren't in a wheelchair, I would have slapped her. Marcus, pushing me, was on the same wavelength. He slapped her across the face. You toxic narc. He doesn't remember you. He wants to get rid of you. Can't you read the room? She clutched her face, stunned. Get her inside. I ordered the bodyguards. She broke 3 pins signing the papers. When the decree was stamped, she went pale. I felt lighter. The pain in my leg even subsided. We celebrated with hot pot. Well, pork stomach soup for me. Everyone toasted my liberation. I proposed visiting the apartment I shared with Elena. Everyone got nervous, thinking I wanted to reconcile. No. You explain it? I want to clear out my stuff. I also wanted to investigate what the other me had been doing. I needed evidence. Victoria and Marcus came with me. It was good they did. First, we lived in my penthouse. Elena had bought a place, but Caleb lived there rent-free. The excuse? His family wasn't in the city, and he claimed he was too lonely and scared to live in a rental alone. Second, my penthouse code was Elena and Caleb's birthdays. There was a room reserved for Caleb. It had a sign, Julian prohibited. Inside, their clothes hung together. Caleb's underwear was in the drawer. Marcus was screaming. Victoria went to the balcony to cry. I went to my bedroom. It looked more like a single person's room. But, Marcus, look at this. Doesn't it seem off? Marcus sniffed. Yeah. Floral sheets? You hate florals. And this hair gel. You hate the smell. This cologne. Chocolate? You despise chocolate. And this watch brand. It's your family's competitor. You never wear them. My style changed, sure, but preferences flipping 180 degrees. I asked. It's giving me the creeps, man. That body snatcher theory you had. Don't tell me it's real. I wasn't trying to scare him. I was confirming my theory. I opened the nightstand drawer and found a locked diary. I pried it open. The blank 7 years suddenly had an explanation. Page 1. The system says if I conquer Elena Vance and make her love me, I get a second chance at life. I'm only 19. I don't want to die of cancer. I'll do whatever it takes. My guess was right. The body snatcher was a kid named Liam Carter, a cancer patient pulled into this world by a system. His mission was to make Elena marry and love him. If he failed, he died. The wedding day was the deadline. The system executed him. Reading the diary, I felt complex emotions. I pitied him. He threw away dignity for a chance to live. But he also used my body to hurt my people. Yet, was he to blame? He was a desperate kid trapped in a game. The real villain was the system, and Elena, who exploited his fake love while trampling his dignity. Oh, and she was living off my money, which Liam gave her. Fortunately, Liam wasn't completely stupid. I plugged a USB drive I found in the diary into my laptop. After watching the contents, Victoria, Marcus, and I sat in silence. Liam left me a weapon. I ordered movers to throw everything belonging to Elena and Caleb out of the penthouse. Then I listed the property. Next, I sued Caleb for attempted murder and grand larceny. He was out on bail, staying with Elena. I was about to make Elena homeless too. The USB contained evidence of their crimes. The art theft? Liam had saved a hidden camera video of Caleb begging Elena to steal my sketches, then him winning the award, then demanding I ghostwrite for him. It showed his shamelessness in 4K. When I leaked this, his reputation collapsed. He faced millions in damages and jail time for fraud and theft. Justice delayed is still justice. My name was cleared. Then the crash footage. Liam's dashcam inside the car recorded audio and interior video. Caleb's face was twisted as he accelerated. You were born in Rome. Why do you get everything? You want to get married? Dream on. I'll cripple you. Even if I kill you, Elena won't blame me. She's my loyal dog. D. With this, Caleb was looking at 30 years minimum. Next, Elena. She was spiraling. Her, white knight. Caleb turned out to be a maniac who viewed her as a useful idiot. And her wealth was evaporating. Liam wrote in a text file, I used your identity. The system says you'll return when I'm gone. I hope these help you take back what's yours. I disguised the assets I gave her. Once I die, the system's veil lifts. The documents proved Elena was merely a proxy for my assets. She thought she owned the company, but the papers showed she was just an employee. I sued her for embezzlement. She had spent a fortune on Caleb, my money. Within 2 months, she sold her condo, her car, her jewelry. It wasn't enough. She was back to where she started 7 years ago. No worse. She was facing 9 years in prison. After her sentencing, she requested a visit. I went. Seeing her behind glass, the nausea was manageable. She looked at me with fear. Julian, why are you looking at me like that? You never looked at me like that. I scowled. A bit late to get your vision checked. I'm not looking at you like I used to because the person who looked at you like that wasn't me. Understand, a pig brain like yours wouldn't get it. I held up Liam's diary against the glass, turning the pages for her. Her face drained of color. Do you get it? The simp who loved you is Liam Carter, not Julian Thorne. He died in that crash. From that day on, no one in this world loves you. Someone like you never deserved it. No, you're lying. She stared at me, searching for the warmth she took for granted. She found only cold disgust. Julian, I know you're mad. I won't leave you for Caleb again. He tricked me. I actually love you. I was just testing you. Wait for me. When I get out, we'll get married properly. I roll my eyes so hard it hurt. You look repulsive to me, and your dreams are delusional. I walked away. She fell to her knees, screaming. No, don't go. You said you'd love me forever. Liam intended to, if she had been human. People who trample on hearts don't deserve them. I walked out of the prison and got into a waiting black government SUV. Are you sure you want to undergo the comprehensive examination at the Institute? An agent asked. I nodded. I'm sure. I want to know what this system is. How can it put a dead soul in my body? Recently, I had started recovering other memories. Memories of other worlds. It seems during those 7 years, my soul was sent elsewhere by the system to do missions too. If it exists, it can be tracked. I'm going to find this system and tear it apart.